So do you have any idea like for loading the equipment structure, which API we can use? Is there any API available in DM or S4?
Okay, for the equipment download. You just check with. But why you need to download through API? You can just transfer it IDOC. You can just enable the equipment create and doc actually, and that you can send it.
But it is possible only through IDOC or from API also we can do these things.
API, I don't think so. There's an API there. No, this is something else. No, it is through IDOC only. IDOC, you just generate and send it, translate that from your integrated S4 or ERP. It will come to DMC. So if I showed you like here, so you can see equipments and with PRT as well, you can send it actually. And that all you can see here under there's an application called tools, manage tools. So whenever you're sending those equipments, those will come here under this actually. Under this application, you can see those. So yeah, as such, I don't see any API. Okay. And if you want to know more into it, like, is it really not available? You just go here. What's new? If maybe the new feature that came. Okay. But then it should be available there as well because this quarter release has happened like wow. Release if I'm looking at this one only. There's nothing related to equipment. Okay. No new release related to equipment or something. If I go to the previous release, see, and this is for your connectivity thing. You can do actually. You can manage your assets. Pulling it to provide similar coverage and all. This is a roles actually no. So no, there's no such APIs basically there. We got the previous release as well. No, there's no API actually. So this is also good. Like so, whenever every release is coming, so you can come here and see what are the new features are coming as a part of the new release. Okay, so that is one thing you can check every quarter and see whether it is matching your like anything which you have already done is impacting or what new you can provide actually or like use in your current project or for your learning actually you can see. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So I think for your question, as such, you don't have any API, okay? Equipment transfer basically, but you can do actually, you can easily do that if you want to transfer equipment, okay? And so you can either you want to associate that tool or with the with respect to the material and anything that you can create inside this. Is it a public API for this for HANA?
I think so. I have like find somewhere, but I'm not. I don't have any idea. Like this is this API for.
One second. So we have. So you're looking for is so this I think is a public API. Okay, but the thing is like to access that API, you need to have to do some authentication and all. Okay, and that should be going through your CPI only. So if I go to this one, let me see if I can see. API like the one that you're looking for. So we have these API, okay, which is part of S4HANA, okay. So here you can see data entries for just if we have any create. It's taking this one, okay. This is one API, okay. To access it, okay, you can do one thing for your S4HANA, okay. Okay, so I think, see, right now what is SAP is doing for all their S4HANA cloud-based products like S4HANA, DMC and all, they are providing some APIs as well, okay, that we can use and create our own custom things based on like, because see, we don't have the access to database directly, right? So they are providing access to the API only. So I just opened the API for S4HANA equipment, okay, I can see there's a list of APIs are there, which can be used to create, invoke something, get the details, and adding new entities as well. Okay, to update as well, we have APIs. Okay, so what we can do is like if you want to use this one. Okay, so for using this, you need to provide some what do you call it? Authentication you need to do, right? You need to provide the user. Maybe it can be basic authentication that is like name and password, or it can be based on OAuth, which will be like your client ID and secret. Okay, so that information you need to have, and you can use this API inside your system. Okay, So what you can do actually, I can give you, so this approach will work like this way. In your BTP, you can create a destination for your S/4HANA cloud with the credentials basically. Okay, let me log in. So if you try it out, okay, if I show you for DMC, okay, so what happened, I have to provide some information like which tenant I have to connect, which URL is it, what is the client ID and client secret, okay. So once that information is there, the API will interact with that particular system only, that particular tenant only, and fetch the information and give to you. So in that case, what you can do is like the thing is in the BTP, you can create under your tenant actually, you can create a destination. Okay, and destination for that is S4HANA system with the, do I have an option here? I can show you. These are all basic ones. Yeah, like this one with OAuth to client certification credential actually. So here you can give a name, then you provide the URL of it, okay, and then provide the client ID and secret and the token service URL. This information you should provide for your system, for your S4HANA system. And then what you can do is create web server and API, okay. I will show the A service registry inside the service registry, okay. And there what you can do is you should provide, sorry, not here, on the web server only, web server, you should provide which user credential should be used or destination should be used to access it, okay. So here you can see destination one, destination is there. So inside this you can add the destination of your S4HANA. So basically here you create a new server which is like connecting or pointing to your S4HANA. Okay, you provide the token URL basically here, this much, whatever is there in the URL, right? I saw something similar like this. Still SAP you provide the token URL, host URL, and destination you provide this one, okay. And then go ahead in the web service registry and create the multiple endpoints, like create an equipment, then create get an update, like get for these all, like you can just mention like for this one create one endpoint, for this create another endpoint, for others create another point. So it's up to you how much endpoints you needed for your logic, okay. Once that is available, you can just consume it in your PPTs and build the logic, okay. So that is the way you can achieve that thing.
So let's suppose we have two endpoints. So we need to create two destination on BTP.
Are of two different systems?
Yes.
Yeah. So if it is different system, you have to create different, and because see, the destination, what you're providing the information, let's have a look at it. You're providing the URL to which system it should connect, communicate, and with the credentials. So obviously, if you have two different systems, you have to create that much of destinations. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So this is how we can do this one. So this is a general approach. Whenever you have any API, you want to consume it. Okay. It's like you have some authentication you have to do. So that always go with the destination and do this way. Okay. And if it is a public API, it's don't need any credentials or anything. You can directly go ahead and create the service endpoints and servers without any authentication, without creating a destination point in your BTP. Okay. Go ahead and see the one we want to see. Oh, yeah. So see, if you want to, this is basically we're going to discuss not in detail, actually in depth. Okay. I will give a broad idea of how you can do a customizing your own integration scenarios. Okay. Suppose like as we are right now discussing, right, you want to do and implement this one thing, right? What is it? Equipment download, right? And with equipment download, what is coming right now, standard present. Okay, it's not fulfilling it on some additional information you needed and want to store in the DMC with whatever the field is available, you want to populate a different value in it. Okay. In that case, you can go ahead with the two options. You can just do some XLT changes. You can just modify the custom standard XLT. Else, you can go ahead and create your own custom iFlow. So for creating your own custom iFlow is not a state and forward. You need to create an iFlow in the system in CPI. Okay. And also you have to make sure that is getting triggered whenever that event is happening. So basically you have to modify the standard package. Okay. So you have to understand the CPI package first. Okay. You have to understand, okay, at what point of time that event is triggering that particular iFlow. Okay. And you have to replace that under iFlow call with your custom iFlow in the CPI. Okay. Once that is done, you have to create the same OData mapping in the DMC. Okay, in the custom manage integration iFlow. So if I go and show you guys, I hope I'm making sense what I'm saying. Is it fine, right? Or so this is a managed integration workflow application. Okay, from where we can do some customizations, we can make some modification as per the business need. Okay. So these are all the workflows, basically the messages which are going to be triggered, and they are going to do the mapping from the BAPI data. Okay. And so for that, you can see here, we have for work center material, this is one custom. Okay. BOM also we have master routing. Then we have for inventory as well. So there's a two IDOCs for inventory, 02 and 03 for process order. So we can see some of these iFlows are deprecated. So maybe in near future, they might be getting invoked from here. You won't be able to see. So it's always recommended, like if you're, so see, so it's always like if you want to stick, you can do, but you have to make sure like in some future time, it may not be available. So always go with the latest one. So when the SAP release these things, so it is come automatically. Like it is like by default, it was always system is always going to take the new features or new available workflow, not the deprecated one. Okay. Yeah. So these are the all below ones are for the your WM related workflows. Okay. So whenever your stock change, when you're staging it, when this is for the equipment download, which you're asking Kishan. So this is the one which will get triggered whenever you transfer the equipment from your integrated system. So this is your XLT. Okay. So you can see there here you can see they have created some templates to remove the leading zeros and all. So if we go the template inside the template, leading zero template. So here you can see they are moving the leading zeros and doing that. Okay. So for this, you need to have a basic idea or understanding of how the XLT works, how we define the nodes and everything. So you should have a basic understanding and knowledge of like XLTs. Okay. And these are so basically these are the XML, and we have did so much transformation. So yeah. So you can here see it's removing the spaces, basically converting it to the numbers and then string. Okay, so these are all. Then there's an option called as custom workflow, which I was talking, like if you have certain requirement. Okay, I've like my previous example if I gave you. So initially in 2002, okay, till that they are not passing, or right now also I'm not sure. Whenever we are doing the yield confirmations or anything, the user information is not passing as a parameter. Okay. So for that, what we did actually, we created our own workflow. Basically, we modify it. And for that, we need a CPI guy as well, so that he can just create a new, okay. No, so that we didn't go for the customization through workflow customization, basically. That's what we did actually. So whenever this order complete event is getting triggered, we are calling one iFlow, okay, through PPD. And that iFlow is basically doing the confirmation, yield confirmation. Okay. And this one, what we did actually, we stopped this particular standard workflow in the CPI. So even it is getting triggered, but in CPI, it is not calling the BAPI. So that we made a change. So in the BAP, if you look at in the iFlows, boxes will represent each logic, and there will be some logic where they're calling external system, like as for any other system. So that call, we restricted it. So in this way, you can just do customization as well, or tweak the system basically. As of now, I have never created custom iFlow, okay, in DMC, but it's similar to what we have in our me actually. Coming to the standard workflow, if you want to modify any of it, like suppose this is my.
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
So if I go through this particular XML, you can see they are using the version 1.0. Okay, here you can see they are looking for the note of this particular XML, which will coming as a part from the IDOC actually. Okay, and yeah, this is how they have defined things. Here you can see. So this is for the material. What will the material name and all you do to find here. Then description based on the language. I guess it will be and these are the different parameters. Okay, and at the bottom if you come here you can see some other informations are there like there which is like right now it's commented. So if you see there's one called as sample for autocomplete and confirm. So this is for the so when we are going for the what do you call discrete industry, the materials needs to be getting this should be enabled for the true for the discrete industry. So instead of getting into that particular or the material basically all the time and doing it manually, you can automate it. Basically, you can just make it uncomment that particular line of code in the Excel sheet. And whenever the material is getting downloaded, that particular flag will always be set to true. So if I go here and see, okay, so maybe right now you can see it is we have did it manually actually. Okay, if that particular setting is enabled, be there automatically. Okay. Again, if you want to have attach some custom field at the material level and you want to populate some value of whatever it is coming from the Excel, like suppose I created one attribute like XYZ, and for that value I want to put this particular node value. So I can do that as well here in this. So this one is structured for your populating your custom field data. Okay. Again, this is for your sample for your assembly data type. Okay. If you want to put your assembly data type, you can put your inventory data type or whenever it is removable, what the value should be look like. So these fields are corresponding to this all. Like if I go to build, yeah. So data to be collected, assembly component, data to removal at this one, and at the floor stock receipts. These three fields are being here represented. So by default, it will be null. If you want to change it, make it different as per this keys. Like it can be SFC inventory or it can be GI info. So anything you can put. So if you want, if your scenario, if you have case where it is like based on the, you can categorize it also. Like you can put a filter as well. So you're saying if my material is manufactured or any specific material, okay? So you can pick the material name which is here, put a condition, mat long M80NR, okay? This is your material and you can put a condition if my material XYZ, I want to make sure my assembly data to be collected assembly should be SFC. So you can put here SFC. So this thing you can just make a change in the Excel and it will reflect in the system. You don't have to go manually change the configurations here in the application. Okay. So this is what you can do. I can do one thing on for just showing. Let me change to this. So not null. Do it is like what is the value? It's inventory. I will go ahead and change the XLT basically. So we are using material load mat103. Okay, we'll click on it. I will paste everything in your XLT. Okay, I will save it. It's done. Okay, so I will gonna change this material. Okay, I will just open my system. Okay, password is wrong. So transfer this again. Just copy the material name again. Transfer again. So currently it's null. I'm expecting it should change to SFC. But let me just go and see inside the integration message dashboard if the message is downloaded successfully or not. So material download is completed. Okay. Here also, if I can go ahead and see that information is available. Yeah, you can see here it is coming as okay. And let me see if it is reflecting on the application as well or not. You just refresh it. Yeah, you can see it changed to SFC. So instead of like if you have so many, like you have 10,000, 50,000 materials, okay, in a plant or in a scenario, no one's like to do this manual activity, okay. So you can just make based on the material, okay. Some material might need be this input need to be collected at assembly, or some might need inventory ID. Some might need any other fields. Okay, so all those things changes you can do. Okay, here any other conditions like alternate UMs are coming. It's specific if you want to make it based on the value it is coming. You can make it. You want to make it back flushing when it is true or not, or always irrespective of what it's coming from the S4. You want to make it always false or true. That also you can make a change here in the XLT as well. What else you can do? Anything like it's like it's based on the requirement and the field state that's coming. It's up to you how you want to transform the message before it's actually stored in the system, in the DMC system, that you can do. So this is an example I've showed you. You can do this with all your workflow. Either it's your order download, when order is getting download, like Pro, equipment, work center, it's come to your what you call, and then it's going out if for all the outbound communication as well. When you're doing the yield confirmation, order confirmation, activity confirmations, or inspection result recording, all those things if you're doing, and inventory transfer as well. So if you want to modify the message before it's actually gets stored in the system, either in the DMC or either in the S4, okay, you can do it with the help of this XLT modifications, either in the DMC or you can modify it at the CPI end. So you have two systems. One is DMC you can do, and then in the CPI also you can modify as well. Okay. It's just like it's based on your requirement, how you want to modify the things. Okay. Lot of custom complex XLT changes, or you can do actually. It's based on all the requirement. What I can recall from my previous is like we did it for this one as well. So initially this materials you can see, right? Material name, it's coming with leading zero. So we removed that as well. There's so many things we did actually. I'm not recalling all of it as of now, but yeah. So this is how you can do or change can do the XLT changes.
Means how we could know that if let's suppose we have some requirement, then how we could able to know that for this requirement we need to change in the facility.
Okay.
Like which type of scenario?
Yeah. So I can just give a good example. So here you can see the material is coming with a lot of zero. Okay, it is unnecessarily. If you go into a S4 system, the material actual name is 2255 only. Okay, but somehow the system is adding leading zeros to this. Okay, which is why maybe the operator feeling little confused. Okay, why this extra zeros are coming? We don't need this to be shown at like this way. We want it to be displayed as it is, like it is in the S4. What we can do is like we can modify the XLT. So here where the metmask is there, right? We are adding it. Material, right? This is so this one, either we are taking material long name as the material, or we are taking the material. So here you can just modify it. You can just remove the leading zero. Just write one simple logic to remove it. Okay, that is one example. Okay, where you can do it. Some things like some cases where like expectation was X, but system is not behaving that way. Then in that case also you can pick the messages and to make sure like it is coming as we are expecting. Okay, what was the expectation? So in that way also you can do some customization in Excel to fulfill the requirement. So it's based on the requirement, where the requirement is getting fulfilled by the standard solution which is provided by the system. If not, then it can go ahead with the customization. The customization can be at the XLT level, it can be at the creating a new flow, flows, or can be creating a new screen. It can be anything. It's basically when you observe or you understand, okay, now this is how the system is behaving. Okay, it's not going to fulfill the client requirement. We need to get with some workaround or some other solution apart from the standard. So in those cases, you can consider these changes or like whatever suiting the best for the scenario actually. So like in MEI also, right? See, there are so many things which people don't like to use the standard MEI thing, like standard ports and all. They don't want to use it. So what we do actually? we go ahead and create a brand new UI screens for them, like using any front-end technology like Angular, JavaScript, anything, right? React and all. So it's up to the scenario or requirement whether it is this what is being provided by this product is being fulfilling and the client requirement or not. Okay, in those scenarios you can consider different custom changes and all. One of them is like this one, XLT change. Yeah. So if you want to go in more in detail to understand, okay, what are the different, you can see there's a lot of different points in this XLT. So what is this? What is for that particular field is, okay, want to understand more in detail, you can go ahead and read this thing. Like if I go ahead, like what is a pre-service stage configuration or custom pre-XLT. So this will call this enhance outgoing message before the message transfer. Okay. So in the cloud CPI as well, you have certain field like where it is this one. So right now what we did, this is a standard one, this is a custom pre-service stage configuration. So whenever we have to modify anything, I just build small changes, not critical or anything. So we go ahead and do. So in this case, what happened? This system will take precedence or consider this XLT over the standard one. Okay. Here, if you see, it has also added the workflow name as well. So this workflow you can easily identify. You can see in your API. Okay. The next one is the service stage configuration. This is a service. So here you can add your own custom service as well. So you don't want to use this one. You want to go with your own iFlow. You can add the iFlow as well. If I click on edit, I get an option to add that as well. So yeah. Then we have post-service configuration. So once the pre-XLT is run, and after that you want to do any modification and any kind of changes you want to do. So they're given an options like you can add your own service as well. So that means your own iFlow, custom iFlow. You can add it here. Then any XLT changes you want to do, that also you can do. Okay. Post-service XLT you have to provide. After that you want to customize as well. You can do that. And for error handling also, this is one iFlow which is doing all the error handling for this particular flow. You can add your own custom as well. So these, whenever you have this one, workflows, wherever you have to add, that means you have to create your own iFlow, integration iFlow in this CPI. And that name you have to provide here. Okay. Same thing has been written here over for these. So you can go ahead and read. So here you can see which adapter is getting triggered and all those basic information about the CPI thing you will get to know from here. I never dealt these things actually. So not sure about these, but yeah. You can read it to get more info about how it is working, how it is getting executed in the CPI side. Okay. Yeah, this is one more information. So whenever this one is a DMC release happened, okay. So in DMC, we don't have a control over the release, as I think you guys know. So whatever the S4 or SAP release, it comes automatically to your tenant. You don't have control over it. But where it is CPI and you have a control. If you want to go ahead with this release, you can accept it and you can make the change, make sure that change comes to you. If you don't want to, you don't have to do that. Like the system, SAP is not forcing you with a new release. But in the case of DMC, that is the case. Like we don't have a control. So in that case, what happened? Like your DMC it will be in the newer version, whereas in the CPI package, in the CPI, your DMC package will be maybe possible it is at the lower version because you didn't do the upgrade. So what SAP said is like whenever the release happen for the DMC, make sure you always upgrade your DMC package in CPI so that it always remain consistent in both the environment. Okay. So you just have to deploy the systems always whenever every quarter. So that is the one thing you guys have to always remember. Okay.
It is related to like some technical things. Like let's suppose we have custom table in S4 and we want to send the data from DM to S4. So what is the procedure? How we can do?
It's same. Yeah. So you want to store that data in DMC somewhere?
Yeah. Let's suppose I have some customization. So
simple. If you want to fetch the data from in your S4 system, which is like a custom table, it's not a part of any BAPI or IDOC. So what you have to do, you have to create a BAPI, okay, for that to fetching all the information from that your custom table, consume that BAPI in your CPI and create one custom iFlow. Okay. That iFlow you can consume into your DMC. That's it. So to consuming a DMC, you always register that iFlow as the, in the CPI or in a DMC as a service. Okay. And then use it in your PPDs.
Sorry, Kajal, I'm not getting. Can you explain once more?
Yeah. So you have to have a BAPI, which will give you. So basically, in CPI, you need to have a call to your S4, right? Which will give you all the data from your custom table. How are you going to do that if in your S4 site? Obviously, either you can create a RFC or BAPI or something, right? So that needs to be get consumed in the CPI. And to consume that in CPI, you have to create a custom iFlow. You create an iFlow, you call a BAPI, I'm consuming like saying BAPI to get the data from your ERP system. Okay. Once that is done, you have a CPI or you have an iFlow. Okay. That iFlow you have to register in your CPI DMC as a service and use that service in your PPD. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Edge, I'm not sure. I've also not worked much, not have started working on this. Integration with the SuccessFactor. This is a new feature that SAP has released. So what is that? It's like you can get all the information about your employees and everything from the SuccessFactor. Okay. So we can, based on the employee availability and allocations, we can do this planning as well. So it will help us in the planning of the shop floor basically. So this is all like basic architecture. You can go through this. So here you can see we have a cost center from the S4HANA. Okay. And we have this S4HANA SuccessFactor. Okay. Where you have the workflow information and ability of the person, all those things. Okay, that we are sending it to the master data integration. Okay, there's one another product will come into picture, which is your master data integration. Okay, and that you're gonna use it here in this DMC. Okay, so there you have an options like where you can like do this integration basically. So when doing this integration, these are the prerequisite steps we have to have. Okay, first when you have connected your S4HANA to the master data integration and enable the cost set, then you have this master data integration to SuccessFactor as well. And then SuccessFactor to this also. This is a two-way communication. We make sure that is enabled for the SuccessFactor and the master data integration. Okay, through API integration, that's going to be happen. Okay, so we have to make sure that this particular API workflow is being enabled in the SuccessFactor. Then we have to create a master data integration instance. Okay, so for that you have to have this. So basically, for this integration, when you're going to configure your workflow from SuccessFactor, there will be one more middleware product which will use master data integration. Okay, and you have to create an instance for that. And once you have the instance, you have to create the instance key and that for your particular tenant. Okay, then you have to create this distribution model for your cost center and workflow. So this is in your, so basically one more thing, this is only supported, I guess, for HANA, not for on ERP, I guess, ECC basically. So again, for the same master data integration, you have to create a distribution model. Okay, so this is the steps they have mentioned. I never did that today as of now. I think in our scenario, we don't have this master data integration. Okay, and we have to create the destination for cost center and workflow as well in the BTP. So, but this is you're gonna do in your digital manufacturing sub account. Okay, there's two steps. You have to create the instance for your master data integration, and then you have to create a distribution model in your master data integration tenant only, and then you have to create a destination for both cost center and for the workflow. Okay. So that you can do it here. You can see once that is done, you can create a destination for the availability. So this is one API which we are going to consume into DMC. Okay, this is from the SAP SuccessFactor. So that also you can create a destination. So this is through basic authentication, I guess. Yeah, now that is again both. Okay, so for that you have to have the credential tokens and all for that particular API to be called in the DMC. So this is something similar example which you asked, like I find from the other SAP system, how I gonna create a destination or how I'm gonna use it. So this is how you're gonna create a destination for the system. Basically, you have to provide the credentials token name or URL for that and all. Okay. So this is for the basic authentication if you have to create with the username and password instead of going with the client ID and client key and the ID entry. Once that is done, what you have to do, configure. So inside the configuration application, you have to do some configurations. You have to add this, which is your one that you have created inside the. Let me just show you the application. So we created the workflow destination, workflow and skill destination. When it is run, entity and cost entity version, you have to define here whatever you have. This one destination we already have created in the previous steps. So that all you have to make it. So when that is done, this data master data will be available in the DMC. So you can use that information for your planning and basically of your shop floor. The configuration once you're done in your BTP, you have to this DMC. This is the place where you do that. Or if you want to onboard all the users, okay, you can use this manage workflow app. So if I go to manage workforce, you have to select the cost center which you have create, and then based on that you can onboarded the employees. Okay, so you can do some selection like based on certain employee you want to only onboard in the DMC system with them only you want to do the planning. You can do, or you can just, I guess, you can onboard all the employees as well. So based on the call, this is the pre-configurations you have to do. Then only that workflow information will be available in the DMC system, and then based on that you can do a planning. Okay, this is the integration with the SuccessFactors. For AMI system also we can integrate it. Okay, this is also I have not done as of now. This previous one, this is a very new feature. It came like previous quarter only, previous like 2402 2405. I think they came up with this SuccessFactors integration. Okay. ME is there from very long, but we didn't ever set up it actually. That I need to go through. I never gone through this particular integration basically for ME. Okay. I can do it. I can go through this and I can explain like how this integration will work for the ME. Okay.